Hello everyone and welcome to Fight Night Legends Top 3 Decks. In this series, we'll follow Fight Night Legends each and every single week. We look at top performing decks, most popular, and decks to watch for the most recent Fight Night Legends. Before we get into the video, take a second to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to stay up to date with all of our Legends of Runeterra content. Check out the links in our description to find our social media pages. We've got a lot of folks working behind the scenes to keep the content flowing and to allow for our weekly Runeterra tournaments. Fight Night Legends is a 2-deck no-ban format. Each Friday, 8 players from the North American server and 8 players from the European server are invited to play. If a player manages to get a first or second place finish in any given fight night, they'll be invited back for the next week for a chance to prove themselves once again. Starting things off in the Americas, we have Real Key. His lineup of Shadow Isles, Feel the Rush, and Scouts secured him a 3rd place finish. Taking second this week is Rattling Bones, who took War Mother's Control and Swain TF. Taking down the America Shard this time, we have Swim. His old school lineup of Fiora Shen and Ashnoxus was undeniably dominant this week. Swim and Rattling Bones will both be returning for Fight Night next week. This week was the first time we had the European Shard play, and we are very excited to see how their metagame will differ from the Americas in the future. Starting off the European side of things is Broken Ball. With an untraditional strategy of Leona Asol and Ashnoxus, they were able to finish in 3rd place. Just ahead in second, we have Zeramis, who took Aurelian Soul, Feel the Rush, and Go Hard Spooky Karma. One of the most ambitious strategies of the weekend, it paid him off greatly. Winning the Shard completely is Marcus. This feat was accomplished alongside the help of Shadow Isles, Feel the Rush, and Fiora Shen. With the top performing decks out of the way, let's now take a look at the most notable decks of the day. At number 3, we have Ashnoxus. A classic mid-range deck, Ashnoxus had a solid performance at Fight Night. It was brought by 3 total players between NA and EU, managing to win the Americas Shard in the hands of Swim and taking 3rd place in EU thanks to Broken Ball. The Frostbite-heavy mid-range strategy has been dominant in the past, but hasn't had much Fight Night success since the nerf to Treferian Assessor. Nowadays, the strategy is finding success due to Frostbite effects being highly valuable in this current format. With the rise of large decks such as Feel the Rush Ramp, they end up being highly effective at buying the Ash deck the time needed to survive and close out the game. Ashnoxus has been a bit of a sleeper deck for some time now. The strategy is able to apply heavy pressure relatively early on in the game, and its units are so large that they all require an answer of some sort. It will be interesting to see if the Frostbite decks can continue to perform in future weeks. At number 2, we have Trundle Tryndamere, Feel the Rush. The addition of the KDA cards, and more importantly, Feel the Rush, has heralded a new style of Freljord ramp to the format. Rather than relying on War Mother's Call as a win condition, these variants look to Feel the Rush as their closer of choice. By moving away from War Mother's Call, the strategy gains the ability to play followers it otherwise would not be happy to get off of War Mother's Call. Most notably of the cards is Kindly Tavern Keeper, who's an absolute house in aggro matchups. Trundle Ramp has been a pillar of the format for quite some time. This week we saw multiple versions of the archetype thrive in the Fight Night environment. It is very possible that the archetype may receive some changes, and if it does, we'll have to wait and see if it can still compete with the top decks in the future. And our number 1 deck this week for Fight Night Legends was Fiora Shen. No stranger to 1st place here is Fiora Shen, a board and barrier-centric deck that can play as either the aggressor or defender based on its position in the matchup. With 5 out of the 16 players bringing it, as well as it taking a 1st place in both NA and EU, Fiora Shen was undoubtedly the deck of the day. This strategy has once again found a solid spot in the metagame due to the Freljord ramp decks having a target on them in recent weeks. Due to Fiora Shen's abundance of challenger units, it is able to beat key units such as Weirding Stones off of the board. Another major boon to the deck is that it has access to Deny, which will put in work against Feel the Rush or War Mother's Call. Was it just another pocket in the meta that Fiora Shen has found a chance to shine in? It seems more likely that though the strategy doesn't see widespread play on ladder, it is still quite powerful and may be currently slept on in today's format. What an absolutely exciting week for Fight Night. For the first time, we've been able to have a tournament exclusively for the EU folks, and we're glad to see that they're bringing the heat to the table as well. Don't forget to join us on Friday for Fight Night all day over at twitch.tv/GiantSlayerTV. And hey, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for future Giant Slayer Legends of Runeterra content.